The greatest question of the modern day man. Who do I vote for? Shitface McFartfuck or Mr. Suck My Dick and Balls? This is a decision that requires a lot of thinking, a lot of brain power. Shitface McFartfuck wants to raise taxes, but Mr. Suck My Dick and Balls wants to raise taxes. Oh shit! Who do I vote for? In times like these, there's only one place to turn. Twitch politics, a place where average men get to feel like gods by absolutely destroying children or mentally disabled adults in debates on transgender. Who should we pick from though? There's so many and they say swear words and slurs. So this video is on the hairiest and most child-friendly. This video is on Vaush. Vaush defines himself as an anarcho-syndicalist, which basically means he gets no pussy.
Wait, is this guy seriously saying that I can't get laid? Incredible, I'll give you 5,000 if you can get poontang before January 1st. Do you have any idea who the fuck you're talking to? When I got off Tinder because of the fucking quarantine, Tacoma wept. Even like ignoring the fact that I have a girlfriend, even if we're just talking to randos, I'm 2 hours away right now from being inside somebody else. This is one. I have two skills, and it's non-monogamy and speaking publicly. Okay? Do some fucking research.
Vaush allegedly has women lining up outside his door on a constant basis wanting to consume his semen. Women of all ages, from preschool to the grave. Vaush does not discriminate. Vaush wanted to share his secrets, so he did a video called Chad Splained where he tells his audience how to flirt and shit. Now, for the most part, he gives very basic advice. Be confident. Don't be creepy. Don't tell them what happened to the others.
I used to be the president of a sociology and criminology club at my university, okay? There were a group of officers that I would occasionally hang out with. One of these officers, so fellow students, one of these officers was a rather demure Muslim girl. She was very chaste. She was a virgin. It was something that she had talked about with other people in the past. And she trusted me because I'm fine. She also had, and this is largely irrelevant, huge boobs. She was really fucking cute. I would have loved to, I would have loved to get my hands all over her. And so I asked. We were up in the mountains, not just her and I, us and the officers and some other people having a good time. And while we were heading out of this nice restaurant, we were out there waiting for an Uber, and I was standing next to her, and I was thinking, I know she's a virgin. I'm pretty good with virgins, in that I'm pretty good at teaching. She has the hijab on with the hair covered by the thing, so I think, that'd be pretty cool, right? Doesn't that mean it'd be like an intimate thing for her to show me her hair? Here was the operative question. How do I indicate sexual interest to this girl without making her feel weird? It'd be really fucking weird if I'm just like, hey, wanna fuck? And she goes, oh, no thank you. And then just leaves? And I said, hey, I don't know if this is something that you at all be interested in, but me and my partner are in an open relationship, and we both find you pretty cute. So, if you're at all interested in maybe hanging out sometime and seeing where that leads, then, let me know. And, she looked at me, and she said no and left. Haha, no. Well, actually, yes, she did say no and left.
Alright, so let me get this straight. You asked the devout Muslim girl if she wanted to get involved in a gangbang. What did you think she was gonna say, you stupid fuck? I don't even really understand the logic of this. Like, he's trying to convince his audience that he's some kind of sex god. So why would he tell this story about the Muslim girl where he almost comes off like, I would say like a kind of borderline sex pest. All I'm saying is that the Muslim girl, she's telling this story down at the women's shelter, and it sounded mighty different. I saw someone in his comments, they specifically timestamped the part where he talks about the Muslim girl, and they go, this is great advice. This is excellent advice. I did this one of my friends. I gave them an out, and it was perfect. Don't do this. Do not do this. That is terrible advice. Do not go up to a friend or a co-worker or a family member and ask them if they want to get involved in a threesome. They will never say yes, and they will always look down on you for it. To be honest with you, if you're looking for dating advice from Vaush, you should probably just give up on love and fill that hole with something else like violence or pedophilia. But here's my dating advice. Number 1, demonstrate your physical might. When you're approaching a woman, you want to show that you're a powerful alpha male that could smash in her skull at any time. Number 2, lock down all the escape routes. You don't want the woman to think she can run, okay? Slip some shit in her drink, she's out of her fucking mind, causing a ruckus, okay? Gets put in an overnight cell, now's your chance. Shoot your shot, brother. When you get a girl back to your house, you really want her to feel like she's made a terrible mistake. Number 3, never take no for an answer. Remove the word no from your mind. There's no such thing as no. Allow me to show you how a real man flirts. Hey girl, how you doing? Hey, I got a place down the street, you know, if that's something you'd be interested in, isn't it? Go there, I got some beers in the freezer. You'd be interested in that. You're interested, aren't you? Yes or no question, are you interested? No no's. No no's. No no's. It's a yes only question. Hey, hey, you're looking pretty cute right now. How about you say we how about we go back to my place? Go back to your place. How about you let me in? How about you let me in your house? Are you looking so nervous? What do you think I am? Some kind of like is this some kind of degenerate or something? You're real pretty. I like the look of you. I like the smell. I like the pheromones I'm getting from you. You want to marry me? When Vaush debates, he's playing his own special game called How Can I Make This Guy Look Like a Nazi So I Can Put Fascist in the title of the YouTube video.
Vaush, what do you mean? What is a white supremacist in your definition that you're using here?
So, generally speaking, when I say white supremacist, I'm referring to a person who believes that there is A, some sort of fundamental distinction between B, one who believes that either the white race is superior in some empirical sense or other social actions to prioritize that group of people. Recognize that Asians and Ashkenazi Jews have a higher IQ. White supremacy can be as vague and indistinct as like a Karen in some suburban neighborhood, like calling the police because she thinks there are some suspicious dudes outside because they're like black and they're just chilling.
Okay. Thank you. Are you fine with that definition of white supremacist before we continue?
For me, like, I would go with the person that feels that white people are superior to all other races and all other races are or should be subservient to whites and things should be done only for the benefit of whites.
Vaush, do you have any issues with that definition?
Yeah, that's not the actual definition at all. That's a highly unacademic definition of white supremacy.
He does the same thing in static debates as well. Vaush will watch an entire video, get to the end, and then go, I'm gonna be as charitable as I possibly can right now. This guy hates black people. That's one of his tells. Every time Vaush says he's gonna be charitable, he responds instantly by calling the person a Nazi. If you're Vaush's lover, his sister, or his child, if he ever says, I love you, run.
I'm going to make an effort to be as charitable as possible to the arguments that I hear. It's every lazy, ad hoc, biased dismissal of the overwhelming evidence in favor of systemic racism.
Now, how much of this inequality is due to the legacy of slavery, and how much of it is due to the ensuing century of racist policies?
In favor of an explanation which is at once non-explanatory and also very deeply suggestive of a biological problem with black people.
He's so bad faith in debates that he once attempted to argue that H2O, the chemical compound for water, doesn't make water so long as it's in Mexico.
This isn't true.
That water has not always been H2O?
Yeah, all you have to do is cross the Mexican border. And over there, it's aqua. That's H2O, not water.
Aqua means water. Aqua is water.
It's a different term.
Actually, it's not aqua, right?
And we're referring to terms and definitions here.
No, I'm referring to water, the stuff that fills lakes and rivers.
The stuff that fills
about the word water.
Many things fill lakes and rivers.
Okay. Do you honestly not know what I mean when I talk about water?
Vaush has 4 separate videos where he attempts to prove that PewDiePie is in fact the most prominent Nazi in history behind Hitler. I've watched all these videos. It took me hours to get through them because, quite frankly, the guy's insufferable. But I think I got the gist. Here are Vaush's completely sane reasons as to why PewDiePie is 100% a Nazi. Number 1, he wore a hoodie with a Georgian cross on it, which looks like the Iron Cross, which isn't a Nazi symbol, it's a German military symbol. But he said that any symbol used by the Nazis is a Nazi symbol, but he also uses Pepe, so I guess he's signaling to his own Nazis as well. He retracted a donation to the ADL. You'd wonder why the Nazi would donate to the Jewish charity in the first place, but hey, there you go, it makes perfect sense. He said he wasn't a Nazi with too little gusto. I mean, I don't even know how to argue against that. It's just fucking blatantly retarded. He shouted out Nazi channel ER. He's a 100% confirmed Nazi. We know this because he made a Jew joke once. He did a meme review with notorious Jewish Nazi Ben Shapiro. He made a Jew joke once. He has some Nazis in his audience. Vaush uses this made-up terminology sometimes where he refers to people as Nazi adjacent, which is his way of calling you a Nazi, but when called out on it, he can go, I didn't say you're a Nazi. I said you were Nazi adjacent. What does that fucking mean? I don't know. It's a made-up word. It can mean anything. Vaush is actually capitalist adjacent. Vaush is actually rapist adjacent. Vaush is actually pedophile non-adjacent. The Christchurch shooter referenced PewDiePie in his manifesto. Wasn't Count Chocula mentioned in that guy's manifesto? Count Chocula's a Nazi? So it's always the guys you least expect, isn't it? He was there when Paris fell. I have a conspiracy that people like Vaush are paving the way for new Hitler by spamming people with the label Nazi so it loses all meaning. We've reached a point now where I use the label of Nazi to determine who is or isn't a cool guy. I hear that someone's a Nazi, and I think, oh, this guy must be pretty cool. He must be pretty funny. The better the joke, the bigger the Nazi. That's how it works. Basically, his major overarching point with PewDiePie is that it's happened too many times to be a coincidence, therefore he must be a Nazi. So, there you go. Right, now let's move on to the 30 plus times Vaush has defended child porn.
I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal.
Now, the most suspicious thing I'm noticing in this clip is his physical stance. He has a very weak stance. He very much has a beta stance. The second most suspicious thing is when he defended child porn. What does he mean by no legal argument, by the way? It's illegal. What do you mean there's no legal argument? It's literally illegal. Now, I could already guess you Vaush fans are asking me to show the full fucking context, so okay, I'll show the full context.
Do you believe porn, which includes bestiality, increases the prevalence of zoophiles? Possibly, but I still don't care. I still think that, like, zoophile porn, like drawn stuff, it should be 100% legal. In fact, and this is going to be a real hot take, I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal. Actual child pornography. How's that for a hot fucking take? Now, to clarify on this take, as I feel it necessary to do so, we do not, in this country, typically criminalize people who have procured media or resources which were the product of abuse. It is not illegal to own necklaces that have slave diamonds or whatever. What are they called? Yeah, blood diamonds. Yeah, all of our clothes produced by sweatshops, our computers, the silicon and lithium mined from literal fucking slaves. In our society, we have already deemed that people are not responsible for the mechanisms by which the media they consume and the content they engage with are produced. No. All you're about to make some really dumb fuck arguments. Because you encourage the production of porn? Yeah, and you encourage the slave mining that goes into blood diamonds when you buy the necklaces. You encourage the mining of and the slaves that mine the lithium when you purchase electronics, okay? It is the same thing. Don't come at me with your dumb fuck feels arguments, okay? If you feel you have a cogent argument, levy it my way, but I'm not interested in listening to your fucking feels on the issue. Vaush, bro, you're gonna need a pause. Whoop, look who just got banned. Oh, look who gets fucking banned for saying stupid shit in my channel. I don't tolerate that shit here, nope. Ooh, bruh, you have a point that I can't really argue against, but bruh, you should take a pause, bruh. Ooh, bruh, yikes, bruh, don't like that, bruh. Ooh, bruh. Ooh, bad look, bruh. Big oof, bruh. Fifi bad, feelings hurt. Thank you, Anarcho-Tac. I'm objectively right on this. They're morally identical. The difference being, of course, that there are far more people caught up in the slave labor and exploitation of the developing world than there are children we rape. So if anything, owning child pornography is probably a hell of a lot more ethical than wearing the t-shirts on your backs right now. You like that argument? Ooh, you like that? You like that moral culpability? You're all worse than fucking CP owners, and I am too. Do you like that? No ethical consumption under capitalism. Shit sucks, right? But if we accept that argument for slave labor, then we definitely have to accept it for child pornography. None of it is... Yeah, I agree. None of it is ethical. But we've already made this social decision that people are not responsible for the systems by which the stuff they own is produced. We've already made that decision. You're right, but you're kind of revealing your power level. No, this is exactly what I fucking mean. I'm right, but I'm revealing my fucking pedo power level because I'm right? No, this is a moral inconsistency in society. The answer should be that all of these things are bad.
Nick Dior was gonna make a video on this guy, by the way, but then he watched this clip and he went, he's right. Wearing Nikes is just as bad as watching child porn. What are you, fucking retarded? You fucking bashed your brain rolling down too many hills, big man? That's literally what his argument is, by the way. I understand his argument perfectly well. He's saying that products of clothing are made through child exploitation, but it isn't illegal to own the products of their labor, but children are also exploited in the creation of CP, and you're not allowed to own the product of that labor, and that's hypocritical. Ergo, simply put, wearing Nikes is just as bad as watching child porn. He has to say it in a really overcomplicated way, because if he says it simply, everyone would recognize how fucking stupid it is. I love the idea that the average person buys clothes to intentionally fuck over Syrian child slaves. You go into Sports Direct, you pick out a shirt, you take it to the cashier. Was this made by child slaves? Yes, it was. Good! Now, the first thing I'm noticing in this clip is that Vaush seems to have some form of putrid growth on the side of his head. What is that? Actually, what is that? Is that like a cyst or like some kind of boil or something? What the fuck is it? If you think that's the only time he's weirdly defended pedophilia, you're wrong. He's done it, I would say, a concerning number of times.
If you're not paying for child porn, if you're just getting it, there is no moral or legal argument against that.
We've all jerked at the lolly at some point or another.
What age android girl do you think the average American man would be most attracted to?
I think it would be somewhere
Do you not
from
want to answer
14.
this question?
No, I think it'd be somewhere from 14 to 17.
I was having sex with other kids. Lots of it. Gross sex. More than you'll ever imagine.
Recognize this empirically correct fact that I am about to spit. It is possible for an adult and a child to have a sexual relationship and for it to have positive outcomes on the child as well.
Notice how he says empirical fact. This guy's done the studies. He's gathered the data on that one. If you think that's bad, wait until you see the bestiality. I see a lot of people in his audience who say that they used to be racist or whatever. And they must be lying. If you were actually a racist and you hated black people, thought they were inferior, if Vaush is actually the guy who convinced you to not be racist, you should be ashamed of yourself. I can't imagine what he possibly could have said that stopped you being a racist. This guy is the physical manifestation of Reddit. Him turning you away from racism should not be something you express proudly. It should be a deep-seated shame. My last two videos have been on political people, and hopefully this will be the final one. Until next year, where I turn Hassan Piker's TwitchCon 2023 experience into a first-person horror experience. But before I leave, there is one thing I have to do to purge myself of all this vile politics.
And all I know is I've seen a lot of Marvel movies, and in the part where the good guy gets framed and he turns around and there are a bunch of angry cops and civilians staring at him, he drops the gun and puts his hand up in the air, and he doesn't fucking unleash the fucking Iron Man laser and cut down 300 people who are threatening him implicitly by surrounding him and not allowing him free access out. At least 20 Marvel movies. I doubt you can find that many live leak videos of people being killed, so